Hey guys, welcome back to For Collectors. This is the second episode, number 2 of the most eye-appealing cards for each MLB Hall of Famers. Terry and I are really having a blast, not only making the content for this video, but reading the comments. We love interacting with a lot of the YouTubers and viewers who don't make videos. And some of the comments just were great to read. Like, for example, Adam's Card Closet, he actually prefers the 82 Topps accuracy card. Dylan pointed out how he loved the 68 Lou Brock card because it had the little details of the number on the bat knob, to which neither Terry or I caught. Gannon actually pointed out how he loves the Jimmy Fox exhibit card where he's fielding the ball. I learned that Hugo, Signs of the Pastime, loves cards with the dirt in the air, like the bench card and the Roberto Alomar card I shared. And what else? I think there was one more I'm missing that was pretty cool. Oh, I also learned that a half century of collecting cards, he loves the 67 Lou Brock card. And he actually had me looking at it a little more intently, and he almost started making me double guess whether the 65 is the best choice I could have came up with for Lou Brock. But it's comments like these that I love to read. Terry loves to read those. They're passionate just as much as we're passionate, and we welcome all passionate responses and comments like these because we just love interacting and commenting back like that. So we're gonna get into a few more Hall of Famers in this one. So we're going to turn this around and let's get it started. When it comes to Bert Blyleven, there's only one card to my choosing, and that's this 1975 example, which catches him in a candid shot. For one, it's a priceless bubblegum pick, which makes the card so much fun. But when you break down number 2, it's all in the details. As you see, Blyleven is looking on intently at the action on the field with his furrowed eyebrows. The blue and red colors on the card design help bring together the colors on his uni. Those sweet colors help to break up the rough dungeon-like feel of the dugout. That cold feeling is also accentuated with his warm-up jacket peeking out with the collar and the sleeves. Overall, this is a priceless shot of a player which differs from any ordinary player pose. And its uniqueness is why I love it so much. And now I'll let Terry show you his favorite card from Bert Blyleven.
James, I love your choice. While it is apropos to have a player blowing a bubble on a bubblegum card, I want a card of Bert Blyleven the way I first remember him, towing the rubber for the Pirates on this striking 1980 Topps card. Here you have the Flying Dutchman, who was given that name because he used to light his teammates' shoes on fire on his first ever card, rocking that full red beard that looked tight and right. This is the Bert Blyleven that baseball fans who came of age in the 80s grew up to know. And how appropriate to have him wearing the pillbox cap that is reminiscent of the game's origins, paired with that gaudy yellow uniform that reflected the changing fashion trends of our national pastime. This photo goes nicely with the orange and purple flags to make for a fun card of one of the game's great clubhouse pranksters.
My favorite card of Joe Torre happens to be with his 1962 Topps rookie card. There's not many instances with the player's run that his rookie card happens to be the most eye-appealing one. But with this rookie, I say sign me up. Joe Torre is captured here in a classic catcher's squat, hat backwards, waiting on a pitch. That beefy, thick, puffy mitt is front and center in case you had any doubts of which position he played. A few nice graphics lend for a nice touch with this card, especially with the rookie trophy, which looks very majestic, and with the picture curling up on the bottom right, making it look like it's a poster missing some tape. Lastly, the wood grain border is a sign of the times, to which they even slapped wood on cars back in those days. It's so retro 60s that you can't help but step into a time machine each and every time when holding this card.
The 1984 Donruss Ryne Sandberg is, in my view, the finest looking card of the 1980s. It is a visual masterpiece because it captures the elements that makes this card a standout amongst its peers. First, you have a great subject in the 1984 National League MVP. Then you have a photo perspective that shows the back of Sandberg as he finishes his swing. The cropping of the photo draws the eyes to the red, white, and blue of the Cubs uniform, with Sandberg's name and number prominently on display. My favorite detail, though, is the background effect the photographer uses, which blurs out the crowd into an aesthetically pleasing array of lights that appear to shine on the Cubs' brightest star of that year. This photographic technique is known as the bokeh effect, and it was masterfully used to make this card rise above all others of the Hall of Fame second baseman.
The 1950 Bowman card is such a sweet depiction of Phil Rizzuto. There's so much about the art on this card, I don't know where to begin. I mean, from the player to the backdrop, it is perfection. Rizzuto is having fun as he leaps for a ball, showing you he's still a kid at heart. And the New York in bold print reminds you he is a prideful Yankee. There's so much details within the wrinkles in his uni and the different colors that it keeps the eyes glued to all the details. Then when your eyes wander away, there's still so much to admire, like within the grass, for instance, it's broken up with green tones to add depth. And the players in the background are just standing, not to steal the thunder away from Phil, which allows for the space not to look empty and boring. And behind them, the architecture of the stadium background has subtle details with the beams and the railing, keeping the black shadows interesting. Lastly, the matte finish border encapsulates this beautiful work of art worthy of the Guggenheim. And now, with all that being said, Terry actually differs in opinion, and let's see which is his choice for the scooter.
Thank you, James. While I do love the 1950 Bowman Rizzuto, my favorite is the 1952 Bowman. Here you have the scooter clad in the home Yankees jersey. The pressure of wearing the pinstripes has broken many players, but not the 5'6" Rizzuto, who won the 1950 MVP on his way to a Hall of Fame career. What I love about this card is not only the pinstripes, but the Yankee Stadium backdrop and the fantastic bunting pose. It captures the pride that Rizzuto had playing for the Yankees and showcases a small ball playing style that he was noted for. Rizzuto was an exceptional bunter who led the American League in sacrifice hits from 1949 to 1952. This is an example of where the beauty of the card captures the essence of who the player was.
Addie Joss, known as the human hairpin, is represented with his T205 gold border card. Let's break down all the reasons why I love this card so much. Let's start with this classic portrait art rendition by an artist that with this sharp registration allows you to appreciate all the details, such as his slight smirk to his rosy cheeks and those waves throughout his hair. His portrait is framed out nicely with the white base path design. The red contrasts perfectly with his blues on his jacket and hat worn loosely with the tilt on his head. The jacket is rather odd though, as the collar has what looks like a rope going through it, but I digress. Below his collar, you'll notice his name and team written within the banner that scrolls out and unfurls longly. The finishing touches are the bats, ball, glove, and mask, telling whoever is holding this card that it is a baseball card, followed by the signature gold border lending to the set's name. This is one hell of a card for one hell of a pitcher that pitched the second perfect game of the modern era in only 74 pitches.
James and I have different favorite cards of Derek Jeter. I like the 1997 Topps Base card. Here you have the captain with his toe on the bag, getting ready to turn 2 as Chris Snopek slides in. This card is accented by the famed Topps Rookie Cup, which is only the beginning of one of the many accolades Jeter would receive. The classic Henry Alonzo Keller logo with the red, white, and blue top hat has become a symbol of Americana. The card design is not overstated, with the warm, rustic red inset color and just a touch of gold shine highlighting the name of the young superstar. Now here is James to share his favorite.
Thanks, Terry. You know, I actually love that cup card of Jeter, but there's something from his 2013 Topps Chrome card that I prefer more. This picture captures the captain for a few things he's well known for. For one, his classic opposite field swing, which he's well known for doing. It's how he fought off pitches that were inside and also helped him become the player on the Yankees with the most hits. He's wearing a look on his face showing he just won a battle against a pitcher that pitched him tough. And the design of the card is rather simple, with the home plate on the bottom left, his name in white, and the classic New York logo on the right. But the main reason I love this card is he made the number 2 famous not only for the Yankees, but for all others who asked for that number, from Little League players to Major League players who admired him growing up. And I can't help to admit it also draws back memories of the late great Bob Shepard.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
The 1970 Topps Phil Niekro is the card that comes to mind when I think of the silver-haired knuckleballer. Niekro, who enjoyed a 24-year career, always looked older than his years and had a conservative appearance. He looked more like a businessman than a major league hurler. This 1970 Topps card captures Niekro in the traditional dark Braves cap and pinstripe uniform. The light blue warm-up shirt and the background greenery make for a warm and pleasing image that is brought together by the classic gray border that defined the 1970 Topps set. The finishing touch on this card is the patch on Niekro's uniform celebrating 100 years of baseball and the traditions that made the game our national pastime.
When it comes to Vladdy, I tend to gravitate to this 1997 Skybox EX2000 example. And the reasons why are that there aren't any other card set much like this one. And it captures Vladdy in a way I remember him best. With rocking the Expo red, white, and blue gear, with swinging a bat with no gloves, and having those long-legged strides reminiscent of Dave Winfield. And also that intense focus on each and every pitch, to which he never discriminated against a ball that was either good or bad. The card design helps keep my gaze through this aside from the player. It has a foil green framing on the sides that shimmer with the light. A silver border which matches the acetate picture is also nice and shiny. And that pic is of a sunrise peeking through some puffy clouds. It's a golden glow of a backdrop, insinuating that Vladimir Guerrero is indeed a golden child.
My favorite Billy Williams card is the 1966 Topps. The sky is the limit as we see the MVP left fielder showing off the majestic swing that he was known for. Here Williams looks to be having fun with the cameraman as he's smiling and looking out at the distance as he swats an imaginary home run. The retro barefaced logo on his sleeve, along with the amber-colored stripe on the top left and bottom, make for an eye-catching card that would be a winner in any vintage collection. Well, that's a wrap for today's showcase. I hope you've enjoyed James and my perspective of some of the most beautiful cards made of the game's legendary players. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments on these cards or any others depicting these players. Until next time, take a moment to enjoy the beauty of the cards in your collection.